With mottos such as "All Things Sporting Good" and "Dedicated to the Dedicated," the Sports Authority was once the nation's largest sporting goods retailer. The company was started by former Herman's World of Sports CEO Jack Smith, who opened the first Sports Authority store in 1987. This store in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, followed the megastore big box concept that helped other companies grow, such as Home Depot and Toys R Us. By 1990, there were 8 Sports Authority stores with the backing of investors. At this time, Joseph Antonini, the chairman of K-Mart, saw the potential of the sporting goods concept and acquired the small company for $75 million in 1990. With the backing of a billion-dollar unstoppable retail giant, Jack Smith was eager to expand and did so. 4 years later, there were already 100 Sports Authority stores. Unfortunately, in 1990, the year ended as the company's 4th year in a row that they reported a loss, $3.3 million. Needing a growth and an edge to keep their shelves stocked with what was in demand, the company built a technological infrastructure to help in its long-term growth, where vendors were allowed to ship directly to stores. In 1991, the Sports Authority had its first profitable year. As the years progressed, the company learned to create better displays and increase its customer service by better staffing the stores. In 1992, sales climbed over 70% as stores continued to open. By 1993, Sports Authority became financially independent and became less dependent on K-Mart and its funding, while K-Mart suffered setbacks in its own from increased competitors such as Walmart. As K-Mart struggled, they decided to provide public offering in the stock exchange for OfficeMax, Borders, and Sports Authority in 1994. Increasing with funding from public offerings, Sports Authority opened its 100th store and sales increased to $838 million. While expanding to all coasts in the United States, in 1994, Sports Authority moved into Canada and eventually in Japan. After its first full year as a publicly traded company in 1995, the Sports Authority topped over $1 billion in sales with 136 stores in 26 states, the first sporting goods store to reach $1 billion in sales. Marty Hanaka, a previous president and COO of Staples, was hired to replace Jack Smith in 1999. Instead, Smith stepped down as CEO while the company had begun struggling in 1998 along with other footwear and sporting good companies. Within the history of Sports Authority is also the history of Gart Brothers, Sport Mart, and Oshman's. The Gart Brothers, whose name later changed to Gart Sports in 2001, merged with Sport Mart in 1998, then with Oshman's in 2001, and eventually with Sports Authority in 2003. After the merger, Sports Authority headquarters changed from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Englewood, Colorado. As of May 2006, all stores were renamed Sports Authority. Also in 2006, the company was taken private after being acquired by Leonard Green and Partners for $1.3 to $1.4 billion. In 2010, Sports Authority created a new store brand called SA Elite. The SA Elite stores would be smaller than the typical 25,000 to 50,000 square foot store size and would carry higher-end sports apparel and items. Sports Authority also agreed to a $6 million per year deal to name the field at Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, the home of the Denver Broncos. Originally a 25-year agreement, Sports Authority Field at Mile High would last from 2011 until 2018. Unwilling to give up towards its struggling end, Sports Authority attempted to provide sales by offering ship-from-store services to increase its online presence where customers could receive their items faster and alleviate the need for more products in the warehouse. They also spent millions of dollars in store renovations to increase the shopping experience, but the restructuring didn't make up for what they invested as sales continued to decrease. It was too little too late. The company had not only increased competitors from rivals such as Dick's Sporting Goods and Academy Sports, as well as online competitors, but an increasing debt. March 2, 2016, Sports Authority filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but was later changed to Chapter 7. With stores in 45 states and Puerto Rico, CEO Michael Foss announced on May 25, 2016, that their remaining 463 stores will close by August as they were not able to find a buyer. Their total debt was $1.1 billion, and there were numerous companies that wanted to buy parts of Sports Authority, but no one wanted their company and the debt of $1.1 billion. Dick's Sporting Goods purchased the Sports Authority name, as well as Sports Authority-owned brands such as Tommy Armour golf products. Initially planning on only closing about 25% of their stores, when creditors and lenders failed to agree with the company, Sports Authority decided to close every store. All stores were closed by 2016.